Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Kaelan's story. We're going to jump ahead a little bit from where we last left off to the next morning. It is maybe about 5:45 in the morning when you wake up, and I'd like you to roll me a wisdom save.
Oh boy. Okay. Just right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
All right. Uh, that's decent.
17. Don't worry about it. Something startled you awake as if your dream just ended, but you don't remember what it was. But you're awake now. You don't know what happened. But it is the morning, and the suns are just rising. You are aware that this is when you would have woken up anyway.
Okay. A little tired because last night was a long night or a late night.
It was.
I'll get out of bed and go eat some breakfast.
Okay. I will roll to see how much temporary hit points you earn at the hands of the golems. 7. You have 7 temporary. It's apparently a pretty darn good breakfast.
Yeah. What's for breakfast this morning?
We'll say that breakfast this morning is a very well-made and fluffy quiche.
Ooh, okay.
It goes down really well, and on the sides are all sorts of things like applesauce and oatmeal and cereals that accompany it well.
Okay. Very well. I think he'll eat a little bit light, just enough for some energy.
Sure, considering.
Yeah. Head on into class.
Okay. As always, the ranger classroom is... Okay, please let me... Hold on. I'm having some issues here. There we go. It wouldn't let me select tokens. As you head into the ranger classroom, the only individual you see is Triss. But as I was saying, as always, it is almost a juxtaposition. The change from the Marigard halls to the sudden Skywood that you're in now. And as you're looking up, Triss is doing something, as always. Maybe she's tending to leather, maybe she's trying to carve something. She's doing some work over the same stump that she showed you how to make those arrows with. And as she looks at you, she says, "Good morning, Kaelan.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?"
I'm doing all right. What do we got going on for today?
Your first free agency.
Oh, that quick, eh?
Yep. You showed you knew what you were doing yesterday, and so I put your name in the hat. And they have a job for you.
Right. Do you know what it's about?
So have you been into the Allen Woods yet?
Can't say that I have.
Well, just outside the walls of the Marigard and Ferrum is the Allen Woods. It's a pretty big forest. Runs almost all the way to Algar City, the capital around here. And, apparently, close to us, wildlife in the Allen Forest has grown aggressive. And while normally that, just might be seasonal, might be about the amount of people coming through, the Ferrum Guard don't have the hands to go handle this themselves, and apparently there's word of there being an unusual cause, and so you're to go investigate.
All right. Anything in particular I should look out for?
Well, To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't have all the details. You'll probably get more information out of Persh. He's the one who accepted the job.
Right, get some more information out of Persh.
Also, I recommend you take a companion with you, so see if Persh has anyone available for a free agency today.
All right, I will do that. I guess I'll leave this beautiful place behind then.
Afraid so.
It's a shame. Would have loved to explore it a little bit more.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Duty calls. Off you go,
See you
Kaelan.
later. Bye-bye. And I'll head over to Perch.
Okay, so having received news of your first free agency, you head out to Persh. And Persh is at his desk, as always. He is working with ledgers and books, and he glances up as you approach. All right.
Good morning.
Morning.
I hear there's a free agency for me.
Aye. You hoping for a companion?
Trish said I should take one with me. So, I'll do it.
Right. In this case, I'll give the breakdown of what the task is once your companion has arrived. And he pulls open a ledger and he begins shuffling through it. I'd like you to roll me a d10. Let's see who you get.
Frickin' Lilith, I swear.
Okay. You don't get Lilith.
Aw.
Persh leans down. He picks up the crate, pulls the blue sending stone out of it, holds it up to his mouth. And you hear him say, "Oi, Widget. I have a free agency." "Aye." "Right, send him down." And he puts the stone back on the box and puts it underneath the desk. And he says, "I'll be right with you." As Persh kind of gets his own papers in order, there are footsteps coming from up the hallway, unless there's something you want to do in the meantime.
I was just gonna say he would check his bowstring, make sure that his quiver is full of arrows, and the snake would bark. That works as per arrow, or how does that work?
For a limited amount of time, your bow behaves like a +1.
Okay.
That's it.
And I've applied it already.
Yes.
Yesterday. So how long does it usually last?
It's going to last a week.
Okay, gotcha. All right. I have a week with a +1.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. All right.
As you are getting your kit ready, a man emerges. A man with kind of a very... what's the word I'm looking for? Cocksure attitude. As he enters the room, here is what he looks like. Red hair.
Oh, boy.
You can mouse over it to get a better look. And as he enters the room, he says, "Well, I hear somebody called for me." And Persh looks over and says, "Right. Kaelan, this is Sean. Sean, this is Kaelan."
Good morning, Sean. Nice to meet you. Kaelan.
"Good morning. It's a pleasure. What's the plan?" And Persh says, "Hey, right. It's a little early for this. The two of you are to head into the Olin Woods. You're to seek out... our client says they are aware and all the burial ground might have been disturbed, and as a cause of all the wildlife within the forest are in a stir. they're aggressive, and are not backing down from fights they normally would have. So the two of you are to carefully navigate your way to the burial site and find out exactly what it was that happened.
Right. I see.
It's not close by. This might be quite a hike. So, if you like, horses can be acquired, or you can go on foot. I will say, if you take horses, you are responsible for bringing them back in good health.
Well, I don't mind a bit of a hike. What about you, Sean?
A walk's always good for the heart. That's what my ma always said.
All right. I just don't feel like being responsible for horses.
That's fair. I mean, I wouldn't be paying for them.
So, Persh, do we meet anybody before we go in?
Persh looks over at Sean and down at the paperwork, and he says, "No, you'll be bringing the news of completion to me, and we'll be handling it from here. The client has chosen to remain anonymous."
All right. Very well. Do you have a map of where this burial ground is, or do I need to find it on my own?
We have a good sense of direction. Unfortunately, these burial grounds, many of the things within the Allen Forest, it's not explored very well. So along the game trails, we have a sense of direction we can give you, but it's not perfect. And as such, he does provide you what's basically a navigation map, but it's not very detailed. There's a lot of information that's not there. It will get you basically into the vicinity of the area, but you're going to be responsible for finding the specific place.
All right. You weren't kidding. This is really shite. I guess we'll do with what we have.
I have faith in us. You seem like a quick wit.
Well, thank you, Sean. I suppose, are you ready to go?
I would like to stop down by the Griffin's bag, if that's all right. I have some components I need to pick up.
Okay. You're wielding magic then, huh? All right.
I'm an artificer, as they say.
All right, we can stop by.
I make my own magic. And Sean will stride out the door without waiting for you.
All right. Goodbye, Persh. Have a good day.
Best of luck.
Thank you. And I'll go chase after him, I guess.
Okay. So we go to the map. Yeah, Sean is a high energy and boisterous individual. He talks a lot, and not about anything important to you. It's one might call it obnoxious, but he seems like a likable enough fellow. If you are patient enough,
I will try to listen. On my way over there, with him. Well, I would ask, where are you from?
Sean glances over at you and he says, "Oh, I'm from Kaelan myself."
I see. All right. I'm never been to KO.
It's a beautiful place. I'm from a small town, East Dakota City, but it's full of elves. Lots of elves. And as a human, you know, they talk as though they don't look down on us, but they kind of do, whether they mean to or not. We just don't live thousands of years.
I guess thousands of years makes you pretty high and mighty, huh?
I'd say.
All right.
I hail from a small town called West Point. What about yourself? You definitely don't sound like you're from around here.
From Phobos.
Oh, from Tridon.
Aye.
You're a far away from home, aren't you?
A little bit, a wee bit, but I'm making do. It's a lot different here. Uh, and I kind of miss home already. But
You can always
gotta
take
do what you gotta do.
you can always take leave, I imagine.
Uh,
I've never tried. I've never heard of anyone doing it, but I'm sure you could if you talked to Perch about it.
Maybe I'll ask about it, but probably not.
All right. Have you been to the Griffin's Bag before?
No, but I have my own business I have to attend to if you wanna uh, meet me outside.
Oh, all right. Where you need to head?
Just the post.
All right. Uh, in that case, do you want to split up and I'll meet you back here?
That's fine. Where is here?
You are just at the junction in front of East Park. You're like right here as you're having this conversation.
Okay, gotcha.
So the post and parcel, which you saw, is basically where they handle mail, is this structure here. And then he's heading to the Griffin's Bag, and you don't know where that is.
Right. I'll meet you here at the East Park then.
And the two of you part ways.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Go on to the post, or what's it called?
The post and parcel. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, what are you doing at the post and parcel?
Well, late night while I was buzzed, I wrote a letter.
Is that a good idea?
He had his wits about him.
Okay.
But so it's more of he felt a little homesick last night.
Okay.
And he has this little piece of paper folded up in his hand, and he walks into the shop
Okay.
to see.
The post and parcel is what almost looks like a roostery. There is a large counter with many tellers that stand at it. They're all helping customers, and it seems as though the post and parcel is busy. Behind that counter, you see there are all sorts of these openings that look as though you're looking out the back of a stable, except that the openings are up toward the roof, and long, basically wooden balustrade that has all sorts of birds seated on it. And you watch as customers hand things to the tellers and give them instructions. The tellers each walk over to one of... It seems as though there is an organization system here. They head to a specific bird. They say something in a language you don't understand unless you can speak Orin. And then the bird flies with whatever it was handed to them. And as soon as the bird leaves the roost, another bird appears where it was seated.
I think he would kind of pause for a moment in his steps as he saw that.
Sure.
Magic is kind of beyond him right now, and he's slowly learning.
You would not have seen anything like this in Phobos. Everything about this building in this room just screams Aurelia to you. Everything about it, like, it's the most... If there's a flavor that is Aurelia, it's this. Using magic for every fucking convenience. It's this.
Right.
So do you get in line?
Yeah, I'll get in the queue.
Okay. It doesn't take too long. After a couple minutes, you are faced with a balding human teller who looks at you and says, "Oh, hi. How can I help you?"
Good morning.
Morning.
I have a few questions.
Sure.
First, before, is there any way I could send a letter anonymously, but have a response returned here anonymously?
We can have it come from the Ferrum Post and Parcel. And that's where it will return.
Right. Okay.
That's the best I could do, unfortunately. The birds have to have somewhere to go.
So, but I guess I'm confused on how this all works. So the the bird goes to the destination, does it wait for a response?
The bird goes to the person. If the person wishes to reply, they're going to have to do that on their own means.
Is there anything I can pay extra to have it wait for a response?
Aye, we can make that happen.
Okay.
That'll be an extra
right.
5 gold, unfortunately. You're basically
Gold?
paying for 2 trips.
How much is one trip
3
to
silver.
Phobos? Right.
It's 3
All
silver to fly anywhere in the world, but to wait for a reply and fly back, that's an extra 5 gold.
5 gold, 3 silver. All right.
You gotta know you're paying for a stronger enchantment.
That's fair. Okay, I'll do it.
Very well. What are you sending?
And he'll just take out this one sheet of paper, that's folded up neatly. Just this letter.
You mind if I package that?
Sure.
He sets a flat, thick piece of vellum on the counter. He takes the letter from you and folds it neatly in half, sets it on the vellum, and then you see he runs this substance along the edge of the vellum. It looks like...
Oh, wait. Before you pack it up, I need to mark one thing on it real quick.
Right, go ahead.
Uh,
And he offers you a
and,
pen.
I guess I'll read the letter aloud now. It says,
Go ahead.
Yoko, I'm writing to tell you that I'm alright. I can't say where I ended up, but I'm somewhere safe, and I wish you and Alexander were here to experience the wonders of the world beyond the shores of Phobos with me. What I can say is that it's beautiful here, and it's the perfect place to grow and become something more than what I thought I would become. I have made reminders of both of you and Alec, but I've found that they can't hold the conversations we normally have. So I'm risking this in hopes of staving off the homesickness I already feel. I hope all is well at home. Please check on my parents often, and have Alec drink an extra ale for me at the Stranded Sailor. With love, Gaman. And Gaman is a nickname that it's the Japanese word for patience or tolerance.
Okay.
And he'll, at the end of it, he'll write a postscript. The bird will wait for a reply and bring it back to me. And that's it. And then I'll give it back.
Okay. As you finish that postscript, the teller patiently takes it back from you, and then he sets it down in the vellum and seals it shut with what looks like beeswax. When the vellum is firmly closed, he makes a small inscription on the side of the paper. You still don't speak Orin, so you don't know what it says. But he takes the 5 gold and 2 silver from you and says, "Be right back." And he goes over to one of the roosts. It's the roost on the far left-hand side, and you see there is a massive bird. And you can see, and finely inscribed in, like, carved into the wood above the roost there, it says, Transcontinental. And it is an albatross that is seated on the roost. He hands the parcel to the albatross, and you see he touches it with another. It's like a white feather with some gold tips to it. And the albatross just... and then it flies up and out of the room.
Getting major rescuers vibes right now.
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
But the guy, the teller, comes back to you and says, "Your package is on the way. I'll send an alert to you when they return. Can I get your name?"
Just go with Gaman for now.
Gaman, all right. And you see he picks up a small horn, and he writes your name on it. And then he writes like a number, and then he says, "When you hear a sudden horn that you don't know where it came from, that's me, all right?"
Aye, all right. Thank you.
He nods, and then he sets that horn on another shelf that's back by the roosts. You see there are a few other horns, not very many, but each of them has somebody else's name on them.
All right. That's anything. Well, can I see? Can I, at a glance, can I see any of the names?
Roll a perception. Yeah, you see a few other names. Most of them don't, recognize. One that stands out to you is just a single word, and it strikes you as a little weird. The name on that horn says Stoic, and nothing else.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
The teller looks at you and says, "Will be there anything else?"
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
I'll see you around. You can expect a response maybe 2 days.
2 days. That's pretty quick. All right.
Magic birds.
Fair enough. I don't understand it, but if you say so.
That's what you gave me 5 gold for, my friend.
I hope it's worth it. All right. See you later.
And he says,
Actually,
"Have a yes."
Where's the Griffin's bag?
Oh, if you go down past the market, it'll be on your left. Go past the docks, you'll see it again on your left. Big, ornate building. It looks like it's been freshly lacquered every day. It's beautiful. You can't miss it.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
See you around.
Next.
And I'll exit. And, I won't go to the Griffin's bag, but I'll go back to the East Park because I don't want to be searching for him.
Okay. As you head back toward East Park, let's go ahead and have you roll to see if you find an encounter. Roll me a d8.
Ah.
A 2. As you stand out on the street, you head over by East Park, and East Park is beautiful. It is filled with people, more than you remember seeing, actually. There's a lot of tents set up in East Park. Many of those tents look like they're being occupied by adventurers, people that are clearly armed and armored in all sorts of different weapons and vestments, and you see there are tents that are set up with almost puffs of smoke, and as if maybe there are wizards or sorts performing experiments or all sorts of things going on within the East Park. For scale, the East Park is huge. It's maybe 20 acres. It's a very large swath of this corner of the city. It's full of trees that provide good cover. There are a few places that looks like people can set up for picnics and these sorts of things, but for the most part, it looks like a section of the forest that's just been trimmed a little bit and then included into the Ferrum walls. And the adventurers are using it as campsites. But no one seems to give them any mind. People that are going about their business just kind of always glance over and see what's going on in East Park, including, every once in a while, there are rumors of duels that take place in East Park. People that maybe they are truly offended in their actual duels, or people that are just simply sparring. The space of East Park is big enough that you could get away with it. There are a few guards that seem to kind of loiter around the corners of the park, and they do seem more armed and armored than the typical city guards that you've seen. But they don't seem like they're trying to keep them at bay. They just seem like the sort of people who could handle an adventurer if they were drunk and slovenly and these sorts of things. You work with what you've got, and the guards are aware that adventurers typically are more dangerous than your common drunk sailor.
Yeah.
As you are hanging out near East Park and you're waiting to see when Sean will arrive, you do see him suddenly appear around the corner, heading from the market, and he is striding with the same swagger you saw earlier, a smile on his face as he approaches, and he says, "All right, that was no problem. I assume you had no trouble either."
Not at all. Are we ready to go?
Excuse me a moment. Sean nods with a grin, and he says, "Let's get this over with. What's the worst that'll happen?"
Let's not think about it.
"I'm sure we can handle it, whatever it is.
I'm sure we can.
With your obvious skills with the bow and my magical tricks that you've yet to see, everything will come by no problem."
All right. Then let's get a move on.
"Lead the way. I admit I don't know fuck all about going through a forest."
That's fine, I do. Just follow me close. And, well, when I say be quiet, you better be quiet.
"Oh, I'm perfectly adequate at being quiet. It's just a little boring sometimes."
I'd rather not get jumped by an animal pack or something.
Do you think that's likely?
First did say the animals are a bit aggressive, so we'll see. Never dealt with anything too aggressive. I have dealt with aggressive things, but nothing overtly aggressive like this. So, let's just be on the lookout.
I can do that. I've always been told I've got a good eye for these sorts of things.
Fair enough.
And you head into the forest?
Yep.
Okay. The march to Allen Forest, you stride through the thick farmland that makes the small gap between Ferrum and the actual forest itself. Makes it a bit almost like a sense of anticipation of going through these flatlands where you can see the forest line vividly in front of you, and obviously the sun's light is bright out here in the farmland, and you can see the green shade of the canopy in the forest ahead of you, making it almost a little intimidating. And it is nothing like the skywood. These trees here in the Allen Forest are thick and lush and green, with deciduous trees just densely packed together, whereas the skywood is almost a cold weather forest where there's pine trees and tall, airy spaces where you can see far and deep into the forest. And this forest almost makes you feel a little claustrophobic in comparison. Roll me a survival check as you delve into the Allen Woods.
Okay.
"15. As the two of you head into the Allen Woods, it takes a bit for you to get your bearings. There are all sorts of game trails and paths that cut through the Allen Woods, and that's not surprising to you. It is not hard to surmise that likely the first chance anybody gets to get food that isn't at the market is they go hunting here in the woods. This forest, you can tell, is old. The trees and the moss that hangs from them. Some of the moss hangs down in sheets so broad as to reach the ground, and you know it takes hundreds of years for moss to grow that thick, and how low it hangs. It almost is like a tangle. And while it's interesting, from a ranger perspective, that's not great, as it cuts off lines of view, and you're having a hard time getting your bearings immediately once you enter the forest. So you take maybe 10-15 minutes to finally get yourself oriented to the directions that Persh gave you. And with a 15, yeah, it takes you about 20 minutes to finally get going in a direction that you feel is the right way.
All right.
Is there anything specific that you're looking out for as you're moving?
I'm gonna be on the lookout for, I guess, anything dangerous. Predators that would be stalking. Anything other than just animals as well. would be in a forest like this? What would-
You can roll a nature check.
Yeah. Okay. Uh,
With a 12, in this kind of forest, you're pretty sure it's likely got coyotes, wolves, foxes, as far as predators go. Probably the occasional bear, but likely just a brown bear. You doubt there'd be a grizzly in this sort of temperature. Maybe a black bear. You hear the telltale running of water from nearby streams. That you know that predators with a 12 likely hang out near water. So you should maybe be a little careful.
all right. And I think so. He would be looking out for signs of those kind of prints on the ground, as well as keeping his ears open for if the forest goes quiet, um, or if there's a bird call for predators nearby. He would be on the lookout for those things.
Roll a perception.
Oh man.
With an 8, because you can't actually fail unless it's an attack roll. With an 8, you do notice Sean is not being particularly quiet. He's kind of trudging, mostly from the inexperience. He's stepping on every branch he can find. He's kicking the dense, like the spinning seeds that fall from the trees. He picks them up in handfuls and throws them around. He seems to be enjoying the hike, which is great, but he's not being quiet.
Great. Okay. So Sean,
Oh, I? He says way too loudly.
um, how many times have you ever been in the middle of a forest?
In the middle? This would be the first, I imagine. I spent most of my time, at the Tinkers.
Very well. So we kind of want to be a little more light-footed. Try to avoid branches to step on.
Oh, that's no worries. My father was a Lightfoot. I can do that.
All right.
Adopted, obviously. I'm not a
Very
halfling.
well.
I don't imagine.
I didn't assume you were. Well, all right. Let's just try to be a little more quiet, because I'm trying to hear things, and you're stepping on branches. And
Oh, that's a problem. Okay. He is looking down, trying to see where to step that's not littered with branches. And he says, "I'm sorry, I just don't have the eye for this."
That's all right.
He kind of crouches down a little bit and he starts shuffle walking, which is quieter. But it's obviously he doesn't have, this man has no skill in survival, and it's likely not much in wisdom either.
All right. Just you don't have to walk that way. Just watch what I do, and I will go ahead and just kind of
You're gonna try to assist him.
try to assist him. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how he rolls. Okay. He rolled a 10 for a 9.
Oh no. Okay.
Which is better than he rolled before. So, it's a semblance of quiet. You can at least hear what's going on around you now. He stops collecting the spinner seeds and throwing them, and he now is paying attention to what you're doing. He does constantly fill the silence with tales of his halfling family, which doesn't help.
All right. As we go along, I'm going to whatever prints I find, Um, whether if they're just if they're predator prints, I'll mark a tree nearby, just kind of like marking it as an area that predators uh, visit often, just for my sake, so I
Okay.
know whenever I enter this forest again, that if I see that, I know that a
What does the
predator
marking
will
look
be
like?
nearby. Um, I think it would be uh, it'd be kind of like a dolphin's tail, but I would know that it's like a crashing wave. So it's got a. I guess I'll draw it out from the air for you. Yeah, it's got kind of like a loop and then like a Y at the end.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
It's simple enough.
Yeah.
It's easy to carve.
And
As soon as the first time you do it, Sean looks at it and says, "Oh, what's that about?"
uh, I'm marking this area as an area that predators visit.
Oh, well, that's awful cool. That's smart. I like that. Okay. And he considers trying to do the same, but refrains. You can see him like hold his hand up and then stop.
So if you're ever in this forest again and you see this crashing wave here,
Oh, I thought it was a dolphin.
yeah, it can mean certain different things. I make it ambiguous, just for the sake that only I know, or people that I tell. So
All right. I mean, I imagine the predators don't know what it means.
no, they can't read, but it's good for me,
Got
so
it.
I do it.
Good to know. All right. Remind me, Persh said we're looking for a gravesite, eh?
I. Let's and he says it's pretty far, so we got a bit of a hike. Hopefully you're up for it.
Oh, I'm good at walking.
Good. I'll ask you again in a couple hours.
If I'm good at walking?
Never mind.
All right. Either way.
Continue on.
Low whiz. Oh, man.
Oh no.
You rolled the best partner for this.
Oh man. I'm almost wishing for Connor right now.
Oh, no. Well, she would be quiet when she needs to be, I guess. Okay, hold on a second here. I need you to roll me a d8, please.
All right. 8. 1.
1. Okay. Roll me a d100.
Okay.
78. All right, hold on. You've been walking through the woods now for about 45 minutes. Maybe closing on an hour after you got your bearings. Roll me a perception.
Right.
10. Hold on, I'm going to roll for Sean. You are better at perception than him, so he does not perceive anything at all.
Fun.
He rolled a 0. That's how it goes. As you are walking, you are being quiet. Sean is doing his best. And as you're making your way through the woods, you suddenly catch a glimpse of conversation. Just a quiet, just a hint of, hear about this? The scarecrow that you see? No, I didn't hear anything about that. Just people talking quietly.
Hold on. I'll put a finger up to Sean.
He crouches down onto one knee and he is quiet.
Here's some people talking.
Do you think they're friendly?
No, you stay here. I'll check it out. I'll be right back.
Sean kind of frowns but nods.
All right, and I'll stealth towards the conversation.
Roll stealth.
Hey.
22. That's pretty good. As you creep toward the conversation that you hear, you see that through a clearing, it's a small clearing. You're looking out through a brush of trees into it. There is a group of 3 individuals who are seated around a small campfire. You can see that over the campfire is what looks like 2 fish that are on spikes and they're being roasted. And these 3 individuals are having a quiet conversation as they're waiting for this meal to cook. They're seated on rocks and what looks like a fallen log. They haven't noticed you.
Okay. What do they look like?
They look like villagers. They look like people from Farum. They're wearing fairly clean clothes that show signs of making their way through the forest. One of them is wearing a studded leather breastplate. The other 2 are just wearing common clothes.
Okay.
You see that the one with the studded leather has a short sword on his belt. The other 2 look unarmed. And you see there is a clutch of fishing poles on the ground next to them.
Can I just do a general insight check to see if they seem friendly enough?
Yeah, roll an insight.
Approach? Okay.
The one you can see, the one whose face is in your direction, he looks like he's... I mean, with a 12, they look friendly enough. They look like townsfolk. They're just having quiet conversation, basically just talking to pass the time as their meal is cooking.
Okay. All right. I will sneak on back to Sean. And,
Okay.
well, do I catch any of their conversation while I'm there?
Roll me another perception. Because they are talking quietly.
Okay.
A 13. Yeah, you do. You hear some conversation about... Well, they're talking about how the king was recently murdered. That's the talk of the town.
All right.
The word is that the king died of old age or disease, but they believe he was murdered, and they're just talking about rumors.
Okay. Very well. Yeah, then I'll go back to Sean. And,
Oi, what's the word?
well, it's just some townsfolk. Looks like they were fishing out here in the woods.
Oh, do we bother with them?
They might know some information about a gravesite. Help us out a little bit.
All right. I'll follow you.
All right. And I'll head towards the campsite.
Okay. Are you stealthing?
No.
Okay.
No, not stealthing.
You walk up, and as you do, the townsfolk are looking over their shoulder in your direction because they heard you approaching. The one with the short sword on his belt has turned around, and he's still seated, but he's looking at you. And when you emerge, he seems to relax a little, and he says, "Hi, good morning."
Good morning. Just doing a bit of fishing out here.
The one to the left of him says, "Aye, the water's good this morning."
Good, good. Is there a lake nearby or stream?
Uh,
River?
the one farthest from you thumbs in the direction, kind of toward where you came from, and you did hear water that way.
All right. Uh, so we're me and my friend here. We're heading further in. Anything we should look out for?
You two are on Marigar business, it looks like.
Aye.
You're wearing the Marigard like paisley on your
Yeah.
clothes. Um, what are you out here for?
Just investigating a disturbed burial site.
The three look at each other. How long you been out here?
Not very long.
I mean, here in Farum.
Not very long.
Oh, well, there's only one burial site that comes to mind.
Okay.
The second one, the one who's not armed, but the one who first spoke. Yeah, well, you don't mean like, well, there's old wives' tale about the old hunt who was an old hero that was told to be buried out here in these woods.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's where you're going, or if that's the tome, but I don't know where that is. No one really does.
Well, that might be it. Can you tell me a little bit of the story?
The old hunt was, he kind of looks over at the one with the short sword. It looks completely just, he's watching the fish. He doesn't really care about this interaction.
Okay.
The one opposite you, who is the one turning the spike, says, "Well, there was tell of a green dragon that first harassed the folk of Keepsgate, which was the name of what you call the Merryard Academy. It was called Keepsgate back in the day. It was an old barracks, an old garrison around here. There was a green dragon that was trying to press through, and the old hunt slayed him. They say he rose up with all the creatures of the forest and overwhelmed the creature while it was asleep."
What a story.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how true it is. It's a lot of people just tell it as a bedtime story to talk about how creatures of the forest can be friendly to those who know how to treat them. Might be some truth to it. And they say the old hunt was a real druid back in the day.
All right. Do those stories reveal a location here?
He looks to the other one who was talking, and he says, "There was an old cathedral, back when there was a village out in these woods, but it's been overrun for hundreds of years. But they say the old hunt loved that cathedral, so if you find the ruins of a town, you might be close."
All right, I'll keep my eye out for it then. I hope the fish is good, and be careful on your way back.
Oh, it's black bass. It's gonna be tasty.
Very well. Can I get your names?
The one who first spoke to you, the short sword wielding individual, Guthrie. I'm Tolan. You can call me Carlin.
Carlin. Very well. You can call me Gummin.
Gorman. And then behind you, just emerging, says, "And I'm Sean. I didn't know your name was Gorman." They all
Hi.
say,
Oh,
It's been a pleasure. And the second one says, "You be careful out there. The woods have all sorts of secrets right now."
oh, we'll be careful. See you all later. Thank you.
Be safe.
And I will head on out towards the direction.
Okay.
Hello.
I have been delivered pasta. Okay. As you head in the direction that you were heading before, basically, with maybe a little bit more information, maybe an old wives' tale, you don't know. But the stories of the old hunt, maybe they mean something. Maybe they do apply here. Who knows? You head into the woods, away from the campsite. The smell of fish reaching far and wide, and you briefly consider, maybe that will attract something. But the one with the short sword seems to know what he's doing.
Probably. Yeah. I'm gonna let that happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if they know what they're doing, then they know what they're doing. It's fine.
All right. Roll me another survival. The dice are not friendly to you today.
No, I did it all last session.
Yep. With a 12, you spend multiple hours walking through the woods. It's a long and slow trek. It's not easy to make your way through this dense forest. It is old growth. This forest clearly has been around for a long time. You're following the directions as best you can. You are heading in the same direction. And as you do, roll me a d8, please. Okay. Roll me a d100. A 50. Okay. As the two of you are making your way through the woods, roll me a perception.
Jeez.
Okay. I'm going to roll for Sean. Okay. You rolled a 3. Oh, boy.
I think from here on out, whatever happens here, I'm just gonna be like, all right, here's what you need to look out for, and I'm gonna try and have him give me advantage.
Okay. Sure. That is totally fine. We can address that for the next roll.
Okay.
With a 10. One thing you do notice, as you did point it out to me that you were listening for it, is the forest grows quiet.
Okay. As soon as I notice that, I'm going to stop Sean and stop myself and get up near a tree and just listen harder.
Okay.
Sean, I want you to listen out for any kind of heavy footfalls, growls.
Whoa. Ah, that's not what I wanted. Sorry. Sean nods and says, "You feel like your whole mood here has suddenly changed. Should I be Are we in danger?
Possibly.
Oh,
Notice
shit.
it. Notice the birds are quiet.
Yes. He kind of stands up next to you by the tree, trying to do what you're doing. He doesn't do it very well,
Okay.
but he does try to listen out. Now you are searching for specific sounds. I'd like you to roll me an investigation, but it is at advantage,
Okay.
as Sean is helping you.
All right.
With a 19, you see something. Across from you, as you're pressed up against this tree, you are looking. And as you're looking amongst the brush and the trees and the undergrowth, your eyes settle on a brush and you can see a pair of canine eyes looking back at you. A wolf is nestled underneath a bush, down low, and it is watching you.
Quietly, he'll take off his bow, take an arrow, and knock it. And then he'll get low. John,
Aye.
maybe a wolf back nearby. And they're stalking us.
Shite.
Uh,
There's not much else he says.
all right, I'll get real low, and is it looking at directly at me?
It is. Eyes are straight, square on you. They're not wavering.
All right. I will not break eye contact. And
You make eye contact with the wolf, and you just.
I'll stare it down.
Okay, hold on. I gotta roll. As the wolf sees you watch it, you've made eye contact with the creature. You hear this, and the wolf rises up onto its elbows and paws. And the instant that happens, you hear from your right hand side, and you are going to be under attack. You have an action here.
Okay. I'm gonna loose an arrow at it.
Okay, make an attack.
Okay. Cool. This is the first attack. Yeah.
Yeah, that hits for sure.
Awesome.
Because it's +1 as well.
It is.
So there's the two of you. Here's the wolf you shot at.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Okay. Well, here's the damage. Not bad.
12 +1. Oh, you have the +1.
I have the +1, yeah.
All right. As you loose an arrow at this wolf, as it was rising up onto its paws, getting ready to surge forward, you loose an arrow cleanly and it right into the base of the wolf's neck, and it clumps over, and you slay that wolf in one shot. However,
Okay.
we are now rolling initiative.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, this one is immediately out of the initiative order, as it is dead.
I'll keep my back against this tree that we're on.
Okay. the first wolf is going to go. It surges forward, running down over the brush and grass, and it immediately launches itself at you as you have made an attack. And I'm going to require, if it hits, a strength saving throw. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that is.
Give me a strength save. DC is 11.
Okay.
You succeed. Okay. You take 6 points of piercing damage from the vicious bite as it hurls itself up towards you, and you feel its teeth bite into your shoulder as it leapt.
Great.
And then it lands on the other side of you. You hear Sean behind you say, "Oh, shite!" as he's fumbling into his bag, seemingly caught completely unawares. Okay. That's that wolf's turn. It's now the next wolf's turn. The next wolf is going to... I'm going to roll to see which of you it attacks, because Sean did just shout. It's going to attack Sean.
Okay. Hope he has more than 6 hit points.
He does have more than 6.
Okay.
The wolf does hit. I'm going to need to make a roll for a strength save for Sean. Okay. Sean is knocked prone as the wolf leaps onto him. And Sean takes some damage. Sean takes 7 points of piercing damage. And you hear him say, "Ah! Goblin, help!"
Alright.
That's the wolf's turn. Now it's Sean's turn. Sean, from his back, is like getting gnawed on by this wolf, and he's like, and he casts Burning Hands.
Alright, that's okay. Jesus.
He's being mauled. He doesn't want to die, so he's using what he's got.
Oh, yeah.
This is a dexterity save from the wolf. DC's 13. The wolf rolled a 7. The wolf takes the full Burning Hands. I don't think the wolf's going to live.
Oh.
I don't need the template. Get out of here. I know where it's going. Okay. Oh, he rolled really well. He dealt 13 points of fire damage. The wolf that jumped onto him is immediately a husk of burnt meat and is killed.
Oh. Jeez. Alright.
Sean's just as he's managed to Burning Hands the wolf off of him. It's your turn, Kaelan.
Okay. Well, with one left, he'll take out, he'll drop the bow and take out, dual wield a hand axe, that hunting hatchet, and the dagger that he has, and he'll go for a hatchet strike at the neck.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. Oh, I thought this was actually he'll do it with a dagger instead.
Okay.
I don't know why that is the way it is. Oh man.
A 12. The wolf's AC is 13. That is a miss.
Okay.
Okay. That's your turn, I believe.
Can I 2-weapon fighting? Can I do a bonus action attack?
It does not have... Yeah, you can. It just won't have your strength or dex added to the damage.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So this would be with the hatchet.
Yeah. Oh man, that's even worse.
Man, you're rolling real bad. Okay.
Okay.
Surging from the forest, undetected, another wolf comes flying out.
Wait.
And this one, Sean is prone. So this wolf is going to surge forward and attack Sean with advantage.
All right.
It's attacking with advantage. Hold on. That's a 2. And a even... Oh, man. Okay, so Sean's AC of 15 protects him from this wolf's attack. It seems as though the armor that's hidden beneath his robe has saved him from the teeth of this creature. And he manages to bat it away. That's the end of that wolf's turn. It's now at the top of the order, the first wolf's turn, the one that's on you, and is going to attack you again.
Okay.
Let's see how it does. That is a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. It is going to deal 5 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make a DC 11 strength saving throw. You are knocked prone. As the wolf leaps towards you, manages to get a solid bite onto your leg and pulls it out from underneath you.
Oh, man. Okay.
That's it for that wolf's turn. It's now Sean's turn. He's going to stand up.
Yeah.
He stands up and he will reach out, and you see he pulls from his sleeve a metal ring that he wraps onto his hand, and he reaches toward the wolf. And he's going to use Shocking Grasp on the wolf.
All right.
He will hit with a 15. This is not going to go well for the wolf. It's a D8. He deals 7 points of shock of lightning damage to this wolf, and the wolf yelps and leaps back and is nearly dead. Sean looks down at you and says, "Are you right? Are you all right?"
I'm fine.
Fucking worthless. And he will... That's his turn. It's now your turn.
Okay. I will stand up, grabbing my bow on the way, and I'm gonna risk a opportunity attack. Kind of
From this one?
Feint. Yeah. I'm gonna feint, push off the tree, and bound away.
Yeah, the wolf is going to make an opportunity attack.
Okay.
Let's see. That's a natural 2. So it's not going to hit. You get away clean as the wolf slashes at you with its mouth.
And I bound away. As I bound away, another arrow from the quiver and shoot.
Okay, roll your attack.
Let's stick to what I know best. All right.
Yeah, 27 hits. You slay the wolf in one shot.
All right.
There's only one wolf remaining, and it is currently trying to harass at Sean, trying to get him off his feet again.
Right.
Speaking of which, it's that wolf's turn. It is no longer... It doesn't have a pack anymore, so it doesn't have advantage on anything. And it rolls an 8 to hit, which Sean easily dodges. That's the wolf's turn. It's now Sean's turn. He's going to shock and grasp the wolf again, because it worked really well. That's a natural 15, which will totally hit. He rolls the shocking grasp. Another 7. He electrocutes the shit out of this wolf, and it falls. Defeated.
Oh.
You've successfully survived this combat encounter.
Awesome. As that wolf falls, he'll have another arrow knocked, and he'll get low, and just kind of scan the immediate area for any more hidden
Roll
wolves
perception.
or anything like that. Okay. Cool.
With a 22, you don't see any other wolves. And the forest is quiet. But you can hear the sounds of distant birds flying back to their roosts.
Okay. Well, you can hand yourself in a fight.
Sean is like dealing with the bite on his arm, and he says, "Oh, aye, you too. Oh, do you mind if we take a minute?"
I was going to suggest we better clean out these bites. Otherwise, they'll get infected.
Have you got anything for that? I mean, I could torch them, but I don't really want to do that to myself.
All I can say right now is just running water. I don't have anything.
I've got some
I think
whiskey.
you would have anything. That'll work. Actually, it'll burn like hell.
That's why I was reluctant to suggest it. And Sean pulls out a bottle of...
Here, actually, we won't waste all of it. Here, and I'll dig in my pack for 2 clean rags. Rip them in half, fold them up, hand one to Sean, and then well, I'll take the whiskey, and then just kind of like a cotton swab that you would
Sure.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of dump it onto the cloth, and okay.
As you do it, yeah, Sean says, "Be careful! That's my favorite bottle of Shortfoot."
We won't be using much, just to get it on the cloth and to get it cleaned.
I hate to see good liquor go to waste, but all right, it's fair. It's fair. It does smell pretty good for whiskey. You...
So I'll dab the alcohol. Oh, you say this is pretty good, eh?
It's my favorite. It was my family's favorite.
Then to you then, and I'll take a drink.
Okay. It's very smooth. It tastes like it's been aged for a long time. So it goes down very well.
Just a single swig, and
Sure.
then I'll hand it back.
It's not crazy alcoholic. You're not in danger of getting drunk from a single hit. And he takes it back and he says, "Well, I guess a single hit wouldn't be so." And he takes a hit himself, and then he puts the top back on. Go ahead and roll me a medicine check.
Okay. Oh my goodness, tonight is just awful.
Okay. You do not get any bonuses to your short rest die, but you sterilize the wounds.
Okay. Yeah. If we're gonna take a short rest here, I will roll.
Sean is really insisting that you do.
Yeah. I will roll my 1-hit dice.
Go ahead. Sean will as well.
Hey, all right.
That's pretty good.
Full health.
Sean is just shy of full health with his.
Okay.
He did get hit a bit worse than you did.
This is true.
All right. As you are taking your short rest near the bodies of these wolves, do you do anything during your short rest?
I guess, well, I would have to rest. I mean, working on these, dressing the wolves would take work.
Mm-hmm.
So, would it be alright to just kind of, bring them all together?
Yeah, you can you can take longer than an hour. You can take like an extra 10 minutes to do whatever it is you're trying to do.
Okay. Well, I'll put the wolves together. The burnt one, probably not useful. But
No.
The first one I shot with an arrow. I'm gonna go to it, and
You see the arrow cleanly went right through, right at the base of the neck, right into its heart. A hunter couldn't have made a cleaner kill.
Awesome. Well, from there, I guess I will. I kind of want a pelt.
You know, with how cleanly you killed these 2 wolves with these arrows, they would provide very good pelts if you do it right. Do you have leatherworking tools?
No, I have woodworking tools.
Okay. Survival is good enough with a knife, but if you had leatherworkers tools, you'd have advantage.
He would definitely have a survival knife on him to do this. So I guess for now.
You do also have an artificer with you.
Oh. Well, he wouldn't know that.
Well, he did say he was an artificer, but that might not mean you know what an artificer does.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll just attempt to dress them.
Okay.
For their pelts.
Roll me survival.
My goodness.
You get a pelt from the first one that's not perfect. There's a few cuts that were not perfectly placed. The edges are a little ragged. You have one poor quality wolf pelt. Go ahead and roll survival for the next one.
Doing this with just a survival knife is not good enough.
You say that out loud?
Mm-hmm.
Sean says, I could help. What do you need?
What I really need is a leatherworker's kit, and I don't have one.
Oh, that's no problem.
What?
I'm an artificer. I can make you tools if that's what you need. Just give me a little bit. Aye.
All right. Sure.
Watch and learn, my friend. And he pulls open his bag. And you see originally he pulls out what looks like a jeweler's set of tools. All sorts of very fine hammers and metalworking saws and these sorts of things. And you see he kind of looks around next to him. He gathers up some old, basically debris, wood that's fallen down. And you watch as he fashions a set of leatherworker's tools, and a long needle, a very long and thin knife out of wood, and then he touches it, and they turn into metal tools, and he hands them to you.
That's pretty useful. You can do any set of tools?
Aye, should they need a raise?
That is amazing, actually. Wow. All right. I guess I'll work on the second wolf.
You have advantage on your survival check.
And as I do this, I'll just kind of like offhandedly ask, "Hey, do you have a favorite animal?"
A favorite animal? And
Right.
with a 21, you get a perfect wolf pelt. He says, I'm quite fond of owls. They're very quiet, but they're very cunning. They're very smart about how they go about things. And the baby ones are really cute.
Got a specific type of owl that you like?
Barham?
Or no? It's a good owl.
I think so. I grew up with one nearby. Used to feed it mice.
I do like those.
I think that's why it never left.
Probably not. Predators usually don't leave good hunting grounds.
I called him Hootley.
Hootley.
I missed that owl.
It's a good name. All right.
You want to pelt this one as well? And he points to the one that he electrocuted.
It's probably got some burns on the inside, so it wouldn't be that great of a pelt.
Oh. All right. Sorry.
That's all right. I'll just kind of like roll them up and kind of like as a sleeping bag onto like attach them to my
Sure.
back.
You do have
And,
6. You have 6 days to get to before they start to rot. Before you tan them, they need to
Okay.
be preserved, or they're going to be gross.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right. Well, let's continue.
I'm feeling right and rested, and a little bit reassured knowing you can handle yourself too. I mean, I knew you could, but still, it's nice to see it in action, you know?
Well, good. I'm glad you can handle yourself as well.
I'm not just a
That's,
pretty face.
That trick with a fire, that was pretty good.
Oh, you like that?
That was very hot, as the women would say.
I know that was a joke and it hurt.
Well,
The trick of it is it's these rings that I'm wearing, you see? Each of them has a different use. This one's the one I use for the shocking. It's got this fine filament here that runs up my sleeve, and he begins to break down the explanation of all of his spells.
all right. Even though it's not well out of like Kaelan's wheelhouse, like he's still respectful and he listens to the and he takes it in
Yeah,
for what it's worth. He's not rude about it or unresponsive or anything like that.
sure.
So
He says, unfortunately, I only have half of the fuel I need for more fire. I can only do it one more time, but if I have plenty of other tricks, should we need them.
all right.
And
That's
you
good to know.
continue. Let me get rid of the wolf bodies here. Well handled. Okay.
And as he finishes that, I'll just kind of would you like to learn how to track or survive out in here? And I'll just kind of tell him what to look for, what I'm looking for, and what he should look for. And I want to try and get advantage.
Through
for the next
teaching?
rolls.
Okay.
Yeah, through teaching.
All right. Go ahead and roll me just a straight charisma roll. Because you are immediately learning Sean is not perceptive. A 9. The dice are not with you today.
No.
I will roll to see how well Sean picks up your lessons. He's going to need at least a 16. So I have to roll a natural 17.
Wonderful.
I rolled a natural 16. The thing is,
All right.
Sean just doesn't have the experience with this, and unfortunately, he really never developed those muscles to be perceptive to the environment. He keeps getting distracted. He's trying to listen, and it's clear he's a quick learner. Like, he remembers details really well. It's just his wisdom score is terrible. So he just isn't getting it very well. So you do not have advantage on your survival check, unfortunately.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Holding on. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and roll your survival check with Kaelan's character sheet because unfortunately your internet has dumped the bed. So here's that roll. It does not have advantage because Sean did his best, but it just wasn't enough.
Okay.
Poor guy. Okay, so even when I'm rolling for you, it's not great. You rolled a 12.
Of course.
That has been the story with today's session, it seems. As the two of you make your way through the woods, you are leading the way in the direction that you're pretty sure is the correct one. Over the time of your travel, you've been traveling all day. And the first point is, you and Sean are both getting hungry. It is getting into the evening. You do not believe you're going to make it to the gravesite, this point of interest that you're searching for, today. And so, I'd like to know if you're going to try and make camp and spend the night in the Ellen Woods, or if you're going to try and push it.
No,
You've had a hard time traveling through the woods today. That's what the dice have shown.
It's wise not to push it. And well, Kaelan would turn to Sean and be like, well, we've been going at it for quite a while, and I don't think we're even close to it. I think we should set up camp and start fresh tomorrow.
That sounds like a good idea to me. This has not exactly been smooth going, has it?
Right, yeah. That's my fault. I don't really know this forest too well.
I don't know any forest too well, so it's both our fault.
That's fair.
Besides, that gives me
Alright,
time to refuel. We might need all my tricks, depending on what we find.
That's very fair. Let's see if I can scout out a good place to hold down.
What are we looking for? Maybe I can help.
Sometimes we'll look for an empty cave, or something with where nothing can really get at our backs.
All right, I can keep an eye out for that. So, I'm going to have you roll survival, and this I will grant you advantage with Sean's aid, because looking for a campsite is something everybody does.
Awesome.
Okay, so that came out much better.
Yeah.
Rolled a natural 1 and an 18, so for a total of 25. And with the knowledge that you found a decent campsite, that is where we're going to stop today's session.
Okay. And I just want to point, I do set up the wolf pelts so that the stench of the pelts ward off anything.
Okay.
Just to keep predators and other critters away from our camp.
Okay. Noted. Noted and logged. All right. So, thank you for joining me tonight, class. I had a great time running From Nothing Kaelan's story, and I'll see you all next time.
All right.
Where the internet will be better.
Hopefully. I had it for
most of the session.
I had it for most of the session, and then just now, like 30 seconds.
Yep.
And then it shit the bed already.
Well.
So.
Next time it'll be better.
Wonderful.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.